Welcome to the Ad Nauseam podcast, where classical gourmands everywhere can finally get their fill. Join us for a delectable discussion of Greco-Roman civilization stretching from the Minoans and Mycenaeans through the Renaissance and right down to the present. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are your hosts, Dr. David Noe and Dr. Jeff Winkle.
Welcome, listeners, to the Ad Nauseam podcast. This is, I believe, episode 199.
Wow.
Well, closing in on 200. I can't believe it.
We're as close as we can get to 200 without actually being there.
That is very, very true.
Yeah.
My name is Dr. Jeffrey T. Winkle. I've been stumbling over my own name. It's been one of those weeks. And I'm down here in Parnassus
Central.
Vomitorium Central.
Final.
With my good friend and excellent co-host, David C. Noe. Dave, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty well.
Yeah.
I think it's a fascinating topic we are about to broach.
Yes.
Like anyone else, I like to broach a good topic.
I love a good broaching. Yes.
I'm enjoying some Faygo Cola, right?
As am I.
Yes, provided by the fabulous hosts here at the Vomitorium.
Is this a new sponsor?
No, I wish. So Faygo is the uniquely Michigander Cola, right?
That's true. Yes.
Faygo is made here. Verner's is made here.
I believe those are our two.
What is the slogan for Verner's? The soda that burns your nose.
Is that how they sell it?
I think that's their catchphrase.
Yeah.
So many of the generic knockoff sodas that we have enjoyed, they have interesting names, right?
They do.
Like the Aldi one is Summit Cola.
Yep.
Right? And this one it's kind of undersold. What is it?
It's just cola.
Cola.
And the is very small print.
Very small print.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we can get them as a sponsor, though. That'd be good.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I think deep pockets.
Yes. So the C here in my middle name stands for Cyclopean.
Cyclopean. All right.
Correct.
All right. You're nodding towards our topip.
I am.
Yep.
You know, the kind of walls that only a Cyclops could build.
Indeed.
The Dromos at the tomb of Aegisthus.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Tomb of Atreus.
Atreus, yeah.
Also Aegisthus and Clytemnestra. We're speaking of Mycenae.
Mm-hmm.
And what does the T represent?
P stands for troglodyte.
Troglodyte.
Which is a broader
Tell me more.
Term for a misshapen creature, which under that umbrella would also fall the Cyclops.
You're going to put a misshapen creature under an umbrella?
Yeah. They don't like to get wet. So.
Okay. Is this where I should reveal to the audience my billion-dollar business idea?
I think this is the perfect time.
Is this the perfect time?
Yeah.
So you've heard about this for many years, Jeff.
Yes.
This is the app that summons an umbrella for you while you're walking through a European town.
Yeah.
The idea came to me when we were in Florence or somewhere like that, and it just began raining uncontrollably.
It happens.
And we were unprepared.
Yes, we were.
So I thought, what if we had an app by using which we could summon a drone-based umbrella that would then hover over us as we walked through the city, protecting us from the pelting rain.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
And it was Dronebrella.
Dronebrella.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Hasn't really taken off.
No. That would be great. And you could, with the press of a button, you could dismiss it.
Correct.
Once things clear up. And
That's right.
Yeah. You could pay by the quarter hour.
There you go.
Yeah. I think it's a fantastic
All
idea.
right, I appreciate
Someone's
that,
going to
Jeff.
steal that now.
Well, they can have it.
Because I can actually see that happening.
Dronebrella?
The Dronebrella, yeah.
Okay, so we have no shout out today, do we, Jeff?
We don't, but we do have a plea of sorts.
What?
We're asking people to send in their audio clips for episode 200.
That's correct.
Right? So, we would love it, listeners, if you haven't already done so, is just to record a clip of yourself, 30 seconds, couple minutes, whatever it has to be, and it can be whatever on your mind, what you like about the podcast, what you don't like, a little bit about yourself.
You can expatiate, you can pontificate, you can explicate.
Yes.
Do as you please.
Yes, absolutely. We want to hear from you and tell us your story, tell us what you love about the classics. It can be anything. So record your clip, attach that, and send it to Dave at adnauseam.com. Don't forget that V.
Yes, and then we will take it. We'll put it into episode 200 if we get enough of these. Mm-hmm. We might have to add some padding if we don't get enough.
Right.
We might have to blather for a while.
Yes.
As is our wont. But we're going to sound off in episode 200. So not a clip show, but something that's a little bit different.
Right. We want to hear from you, and we're going to respond to you. And I think it could be a lot of fun.
Be careful, however, because if you get too adventurous in the audio clip that you send us, and things don't go right, you might find yourself hoisted on your own leotard.
Exactly.
Is
careful.
that the phrase?
I think it's petard.
Petard.
What is a petard?
I don't know.
Isn't it the captain on
Didn't he
Star Trek?
Yeah, I think he was in Star Trek.
Captain Jean-Luc Petard?
That's correct. You don't want to be hoisted on that. So be careful.
No.
So no shout out.
No.
But we do have an invitation, a summons to be a part of the mayhem.
Yes.
And of course, what else do we have this week?
We have a corrigendum.
Yes, we do.
Right.
Can anyone guess who this one is coming from?
I could take a guess.
Okay.
Is it from our friend Will?
It is. As I like to say, where there's a will, there's a corrigendum. I think this guy's really becoming a third wheel.
Yeah, man.
And you know what that's going to provoke?
What?
A corrigendum.
Corrigendum.
He's going to say, actually, the expression is a fifth wheel.
Fifth wheel.
Because a third wheel, if you add that, you have a tricycle. And who doesn't want one of those?
Right, exactly. Yeah,
there is no tricycle. There is only the do-cycle, right?
Yes, right.
So, but what does Will say to try to set us straight?
We got something wrong. It was the Mark Twain quote?
Yes, golf is a good walk ruined. You want to read it, please?
Yes, so Will informs us that, well, actually, that phrase, a good walk spoiled, it does sound like something Mark Twain would say. He probably didn't say that.
Okay.
So according to a 2010 article by the quote investigator, the earliest attribution of this to Twain comes from 1948, about 30 years after his death.
Is that a problem? Don't you hope people will be attributing things to you 30 years after your death?
If it's positive stuff, I suppose. Right?
As the late Jeff Winkle used to say.
Was wont to say.
There you go.
Right. So, I mean, that doesn't necessarily disprove, right?
Right. No, it doesn't.
Right. But,
continue, please.
Yeah. So, and the earliest appearance a QI, quote investigator found was from 1897. Okay. So
that's the end of the actual corrigendum. Then Will does some riffing.
Yes.
You want to give us the riff?
Yes. So the riff says, Twain did say, however, that a podcast is a good talk spoil.
Oh.
Man, the dagger in the back, Will.
Yeah, this third wheel's not getting the grease.
Yeah, my goodness. But then he does end it.
Yeah, I can mix metaphors with the best of them. Go ahead.
He says, love your podcast. I'm looking forward to the 200th episode.
That's going to be wonderful.
All right.
And Will has also sent in a recording.
Yes, he really?
This guy is so generous. So Will, we like to poke fun at local Will and distant Ron and embryonic Mark.
Right.
Lazy Steve, and the whole host of characters.
Man, can't wait.
Glamping Achilles, but there's some good stuff.
Right. I have to. One of my favorite kind of small subsets of humor is when people post something on the internet, like a famous quote, like the unexamined life is not worth living,
right?
But then attribute it to like Bon Jovi.
That's right. Yeah, I like that too.
I like that. Yeah.
Or the one from Abraham Lincoln, right? Half of all quotes on the internet are false.
Right.
Abraham Lincoln.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah.
All right, so we are ready then for the first segment here. And what are we talking about today, Dr. Winkle?
We're talking about Theocritus, which I believe, now 199 episodes in, it's hard to keep track of what we've covered and what we haven't.
We have never covered Theocritus.
No, I think that's right. We have not even, we've not talked about, we've not broached. Yes.
Yes. Now, we did refer to him, though.
We did.
We referred to him in an early episode entitled Cowboy Up, Verge, which was about Virgil and his eclogues.
That's right.
Virgil and the first eclogue, Cowboy Up, Verge, in which we described the fact that, according to Brooks Otis, Conte, and many others, Virgil had a strong dependence upon the Hellenistic poet Theocritus, specifically his idylls.
Yes.
You feeling at all idyllic today?
Not today. No, I probably won't feel idyllic until kind of early spring.
Until spring thaws.
Right.
Yeah. I find people often confuse the word idealistic and idyllic.
Idyllic, right. Yes.
They have some assonance.
They do. But
pardon my French.
But they are two very separate things.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have to get into a little bit of the background of Theocritus. We have to reprise a little bit of our long-standing interest in Hellenistic poetry in order to set up the 11th idyll.
Yes.
But let's tip our hats for the audience. What does the 11th... Did I say tip our hats?
You did.
That's not the right metaphor, is it?
Show our hand?
Show our hand.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Tip our waitress. What does the 11th idyll concern?
It's great. It is. It involves the Cyclops, Polyphemus, and he is longing... after Galatea, the nymph.
The sea nymph.
Yes.
Is this the same Polyphemus that we encounter in Odyssey, Book 9?
Yeah, I think it is, because I think that there are some kind of fairly obvious Odyssean references that pop up in the poem.
Is this part of his backstory, or would we call this like a sequel?
I think this is his backstory, because I think we learned that this is that Polyphemus is a very young Cyclops.
Okay.
And he wants to he wants to do some wooing.
Okay,
Right.
so he's like a street punk. He's a young tough. He wants to stand out among the Cyclopes, and he doesn't know he's fated to appear in Homer's Odyssey later on.
Well, certainly, to me, he doesn't appear like a street tough here. He's very syrupy and kind of like ridiculously romantic.
Whiny.
It's whiny. And what my favorite things about the poem is how it kind of devolves as you get further into the poem.
Yeah, but there were a number of movies. I'd have to get your help on this.
Yeah.
Kind of late 80s, maybe mid to late 80s, which were the group of young toughs, kind of. And
the Brat Pack.
Yeah.
Yes.
So who would play Polyphemus? Would it be Emilio Estevez?
Oh, I think he'd be. Man,
it's got to be somebody who is initially kind of interesting, but you soon grow tired of.
I think it's Judd Nelson.
Okay.
There's your Cyclops.
Okay.
Right there, exactly. So, and that's a perfect description. You like him at first, and then, boy, I want this guy off the screen.
Right. All right. So Theocritus.
Yes.
We're going to go to H.J. Rose,
Nothing
A
wrong with
Handbook of Greek Literature, published in 1934. It's in a reprint by Boccesi Carducci, and but you can also get the PDF for free. So it's quite nice.
Excellent.
And I'd like to start out here on page 331 of that reference work, giving our audience a little bit of some background on Theocritus.
Good.
Theocritus of Syracuse was the reviver of the mime.
Now, do we really need more mimes?
I don't know. Do we need them revived? I say let sleeping mimes lie.
Exactly. Now, I mean, to be fair, we're not talking about the silent street performers.
No.
Pulling
What
ropes
are
and
we
such.
talking of, Winkle?
Well, we're talking about kind of an offshoot of kind of late old Greek comedy.
Okay.
Kind of shorter scenes. It was marked by scenes that were taken from real life, kind of like domestic comedy.
Okay.
Right.
Were there any sticks that were slapped?
Oh, stick slapping? What are you talking about?
Slapstick.
Slapstick. Yeah.
It wasn't all verbal comedy,
No,
right?
no. But it was not silent performance like when people hear the word mime, what they usually think
I
of.
see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So Theocritus of Syracuse, which we know is in Sicily, was the reviver of the mime in a new form, and he was the father of bucolic or pastoral poetry. He seems to have been of undistinguished origin and to have embarked on the career of professional poet fairly early in life. At first he wrote in his native city, producing a laudatory poem, number 16, addressed to Hieron II, the king or the tyrant of Syracuse, 270 to 216. So I'm going to pause from Rose for a minute to make sure the audience is following us, right? So after the career of Alexander the Great, dies in 323, between 323 and right down to the reign of Augustus, taking Peter Green's kind of framing, that's called the Hellenistic era.
Exactly.
And we've got three fantastic poets, Callimachus, Theocritus, and then Apollonius of Rhodes.
Yes.
Am I forgetting anybody?
I think those are your big three.
Okay.
Yep.
And they all come to Alexandria, where they are patronized by the Ptolemies, right?
Yep.
And so then, the Ptolemies, we covered this in our episode on the Library of Alexandria.
That's right.
They recruited all of the international Greek talent to come to Alexandria and write poetry. So to continue, Theocritus seems to have gotten little encouragement from that monarch who had his hands full with a difficult political and military situation.
When that's going on, it's tough to care about poetry.
It is, yeah. Doubtless, some of the excellent epigrams we have from Theocritus are also of this period, for they include one written for the pedestal of a statue of Epicharmos. However, he tired of his unprofitable home, Syracuse, and migrated to the eastern Mediterranean, where he seems to have lived for some time on the island of Kos, which is the scene of the 7th Idyll. Alexandria, which he visited about the 70s of the century, proved apparently a much more profitable place, and it would seem that the younger poet established himself in the good graces of Callimachus,
Okay.
in whose support he wrote 2 telling works. So what did he write, Winkle?
Well, he wrote this collection of poems, which we call the Idylls.
Okay.
Right? So these lines of dactylic hexameter,
Right.
of kind of varying topics. My favorite one is it's close. The one
It's
we're
not this one?
Well, that's in my top 2. I like the one that's about the magic and the spells and such, which I'd love to cover at some time as well. But yeah, these kind of shortish poems in that epic meter of kind of varying topics.
Right.
Yep.
So the famous quote from Callimachus, we've repeated on this show many times, big book, big problem.
Yes.
Right? So the Alexandrian ethos, you might say stylistic ethos, was take a small topic and refine it endlessly and try to make it perfect.
Right.
Don't attempt something big. Don't try to write another epic. One of the three poets we mentioned, Apollonius of Rhodes, he did write the Argonautica.
He did.
Right?
But as opposed to writing 24 books of poetry, he writes 4.
4, okay.
Yeah.
So an epic theme, but kind of in miniature.
Mm-hmm.
So then Theocritus is trying to do the same thing in his collection of Idylls. But he's also the father of what's called bucolic, which sounds terrible, but bucolic or pastoral poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So the setting for a lot of these stories is the landscape of Sicily, the Syracusan countryside.
That's right.
So he deals with the themes of poets and shepherds and love and what's called amoebic poetry, where there's a kind of a competition. The poets get together, the shepherds get together, and when the sheep are doing their thing, then the poets engage in a kind of poetic throwdown.
It's a rap battle.
Exactly.
Exactly right.
And Theocritus always comes out on top.
Of course. Well, if you were writing these things too, wouldn't you frame yourself that way?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Could he throw down with the best of them?
Oh, man, he could freestyle like nobody's business.
Okay. So Rose continues. In Cos, Theocritus made a number of pleasant acquaintances, some of them men of literary distinction. Several of these are introduced into the 7th Idyll, but mostly under fanciful names. Thus, Theocritus represents himself as Semikidos. He converses with Lycidas, who is possibly Dosiados. Are we lost?
Man, I can't keep these. We need a program.
They mention a certain Sicelidas, who may perhaps be Asclepiades. And Philetus is spoken of by name. Now, that's a rap battle.
Big time, man.
Others are as yet unidentified. Titaros, Aegaeanax, Aratos, not the poet, and so on and so forth. So
he's already anticipating a lot of stuff that we see pop up in Golden Age Latin poetry.
Exactly.
Right? So we think of Catullus'
Yes.
Lesbia.
That's right.
Right.
The Neoteroi, as Cicero calls them, these young bucks who are writing all of this Alexandrian-inspired poetry in Latin.
Yeah, and then add to that idealization of the countryside. Particularly with Idyll XI, the portrayal of love as a disease or as an insanity.
Correct.
Yeah, all of that kind of pops up 300 years later
from a very urban perspective, right?
Right.
So you take the metro down to the coffee shop and you fight through 100 different other people and you sit down at your table and you order your cappuccino or whatever it is, and then on your laptop, right, the latest model, you talk about the glories of the simple life of cheese and wine and laying on a green slope of a mountain.
Yeah, it's one of the problems I have actually with something like Virgil's Georgics.
You don't like it?
So I mean, Theocritus, no, he's legit. I mean, he's lounging on Kos.
Okay,
right? He's from Sicily. I mean, he has some.
He's got a pedigree.
He's got bucolic field cred.
Yeah, but Virgil was from apparently a humble kind of origin. He was country boy, moves to the big city.
I guess so. Maybe he's tapping into Mantua when he's in Rome, but I think he's writing all that from the big city. So
okay,
it's a little suspect.
All right, a couple more points. You don't find it genuine, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Its authenticity is in question.
Is in question. Yes.
It's like a pair of ripped jeans.
What?
Well, they're blue jeans, but you didn't get those rips from actually doing anything.
Gotcha. Yes.
You bought them from the store, pre-ripped.
Pre-ripped. Right. Yeah.
Theocritus also wrote, says Rose, 2 or 3 more epilia, which are little epics, mini epics. An epithalamium of Helen, the bedroom of Helen, and the infant Heracles. So that's a really Alexandrian topic.
Very specific.
Yeah, let's talk about someone famous, but from a totally unexpected vantage point.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that's the topic we're dealing with today.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, which we'll get to in just a moment. His fame rests chiefly, says Rose, on his Idylls, as they are generally called, mimes in hexameter verse and the Doric dialect, which, when allowance is made for the inevitable epic forms and idioms, seems, so far as our scanty knowledge will let us judge, to differ not very widely from his native Syracusan speech, and to be far less conventional than the language of most Alexandrians. So that's an interesting point, I would say. When Theocritus showed up in Alexandria, the urban and literary center of the world from his perspective, he didn't shed his Doric background.
Yeah.
So there's another kind of a word in his favor for authenticity.
I think so too. I mean, I like that he didn't try to conform, and maybe that was part of his allure as well that made him kind of stand out and be different. Right? He's bebopping and scatting all over the place.
That's correct.
And the locals can't keep up.
That's right. One more little quote from Rose. This is from page 333 because it touches directly on our Idyll, the one we're dealing with today. He says, number 11 is the admirable Cyclops, Polyphemus, a much less formidable monster than in Homer. Now, Jeff, does Polyphemus eat anybody in Idyll number 11?
No.
I don't remember.
No, he just references some cheese. But
okay, all right. A much less formidable monster than in Homer is in love with a sea nymph, Galatea, and pleads his cause in a song full of delightful humor at the singer's expense, finally giving it up as hopeless.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's a short summary, but as we're going to see when we look at this article by one Schmiel, Robert Schmiel.
Schmiel.
Yes. We're going. What?
I was just expecting a riff there. I mean,
no.
You're going to let a name like Schmiel just kind of walk past you?
We'll Schmiel with it later.
All right.
Yeah, I think, as we'll see, there's quite a bit of interpretive disagreement about how to take the poem, right?
Yeah.
Is it meant to be pure comedy, or is there something else involved?
Yeah. Let me read from the beginning of this article to kind of set up that the dichotomy. So Schmiel writes, Theocritus' 11th Idyll has been interpreted in two rather different ways as to its tone and meaning. In an interpretation of Virgil's Eclogue 2, Otis states that, quote, the Polyphemus Idyll is a quite non-dramatic parody of courtship, and Polyphemus is himself a butt without either insight or dignity.
Hold on there.
Yeah.
First of all, this is the famous Brooks Otis, right?
Yep.
From the famous book, Oxford 1963, Virgil, A Study in Civilized Poetry.
Yes.
We've referenced this before. It's maybe the best book on Virgil ever written, in my humble opinion. I've read it. I've studied it. Most of what I know about Virgil comes from Brooks Otis and William Anderson. But what does he mean when he says Polyphemus is himself a butt without either insight or dignity? We have some adolescent listeners.
Right.
Are they snickering at this point?
I hope so.
Okay.
I'm kind of snickering.
What does it mean?
Well, I mean, Otis is arguing that the way you should interpret this poem is almost purely comic.
Okay, so he's the butt of a joke.
He's the butt of a joke. I mean, he's the narrator for most of the poem, but the joke is on Polyphemus.
I see.
Yes.
Because he is the erstwhile lover who's actually hideous.
Yes.
He's the beast of Beauty and the Beast, but he desperately wants to be taken seriously.
Right.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what it means to be a butt.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So this article is from the Classical Journal, May 1975, and published in a journal that published by a group that you used to frequent, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, CAMWIS, yes.
CAMWIS.
Yes, the Classical Association of the Middle, West, and South.
Yeah, so 1975, Robert Schmiel, Polyphemus is a butt.
He's a butt.
Okay.
Well, he's quoting Otis there.
Okay.
And as the article goes on, Schmiel reveals that that's the interpretation that he likes best.
So we're going to get a Schmiel reveal?
We're going to get a Schmiel reveal.
Okay. Can you carry on there with page 32 of this article?
Yes. So after a careful and more detailed reading, Holtsmark reaches this conclusion.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Holtsmark?
That sounds familiar to me.
Who is this?
Now, remind me, who's that guy again?
Well, his name is Erling B. Holtsmark.
Yeah.
Jack Holtsmark. And I didn't know this when I selected this article from JSTOR, the repository of articles in the humanities.
Yes.
I didn't know that Jack Holtsmark was going to appear in this article.
Wow.
It was a very pleasant surprise because he was my grad school professor.
That's right.
From whom I learned a tremendous amount, and we featured him in 2 episodes, Tarzan and Tradition.
That's right.
Episodes 117 and 118.
Yeah. So go back and check those out.
That's correct.
Right.
And this is from his article, Poetry as Self-Enlightenment.
Yes.
Great title. So what does Holtsmark say?
He says, poetry as exemplified by the Cyclops song is superior to medicine as a remedy against love, because it is a process of internal exploration during which the individual gradually comes to accept the basic truths about his emotions, discards cherished but harmful illusions about himself, and finally sees himself as he in fact is, not as he would in fancy like to be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So love is a kind of illness, right? It's a sickness.
Yeah.
But how are you going to medicate that sickness?
Yeah.
On the one hand, you could use actual medicine as a remedy against love, or you could use, suggests Holtsmark,
It's poetry and music.
poetry.
Yes. Yeah.
And why would poetry work? What is the argument here?
Well, I mean, in reading Holtsmark's quote there, it's like poetry as therapy.
Okay.
But you use kind of the medium of poetry and song and music to kind of work through your own problems, your own idiosyncrasies.
I gotta say that's exactly what I do with music.
I would say that's exactly what I do with music.
Is that exactly what everybody does?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. But
when I'm feeling really bad, you know what I like to do?
What do you like to do?
Listen to the blues.
Of course.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what it struck me is that when I read Schmiel's argument, where he comes around to Odysseus' point of view and says, "No, this is largely comic."
You weren't persuaded.
I wasn't fully persuaded.
Okay.
I really identified. I think any guy.
Okay.
Who has been?
Wait a minute. Is this gonna be a gender weighted sort of generalization?
Of course.
All right.
I think that any guy who has ever kind of pined after a young lady in his kind of his like middle school youth,
or a little bit later,
would identify exactly what the Cyclops is going through and how he's trying to persuade and how he's trying to justify things.
Right.
Yeah. So
at this point in the discussion, at least, you're with Holtsmark.
Yeah.
That it's not purely comic.
No.
Not like Brooks Otis says, Polyphemus is the butt of the joke, but as Holtsmark says, poetry is medicine to help cure you from love.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Discards cherished but harmful illusions about himself, and finally sees himself as he in fact is. See, I'm not sure I want to see myself as I actually am. If music does this to me, turn it off, turn it down, right?
Yes. If I may, I'll offer a kind of, I think I find Holtzmark's word usage Jungian.
Okay.
I can bring in Dr. Carl once again.
I see.
So I think he's saying is that poetry and music, and I think Jung would agree with this, is a way to kind of confront what he would call your shadow side.
Okay.
It's a way to kind of own up and face, look in the mirror.
All right.
Face up to the worst parts of yourself and deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And that could be serious stuff.
All right. So we're going to rely on Robert Schmiel a little bit more here because he says, the song, referring to Idyll XI, we're going to read some Greek. We're going to share with you some wonderful translations of it. The song can be divided into 5 sections of almost equal but slightly increasing length. Lines 19 through 29, Polyphemus confesses his love. Mm-hmm. Lines 30 through 41, Polyphemus forestalls objection to his ugliness by touting his flocks and his musical ability. So he says, Galatea, I ain't much to look at, but have you seen my sheep?
Yeah, that's right.
And have you seen me shred?
Right. Exactly right. He says, like, I might not be much to look at, but look at this cash.
Right. Look at this Camaro that I'm driving.
He's totally showing off the Camaro.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. What is in section 3?
In section 3, Polyphemus.
This is lines
42 to 53.
Okay, thanks.
Makes his appeal to Galatea and supports it by cataloging the charms of his cave.
Okay.
So he's got the Camaro.
Right.
He's got the pad.
Go back to my place. Right. It's wall-to-wall shag carpeting.
That's right. Exactly.
I got a disco ball.
Disco ball. Exactly. He's got a killer stereo system.
That's correct.
Turntable.
Cheez whiz.
Cheez whiz. Lava lamp.
Right.
This guy's living the life.
Which decade are we in now?
We're kind of mixing it up a
Is it mid to late 70s?
Right, and then, but I think the Camaro is, we're talking 84.
Okay,
right? Yeah.
I don't know. DeLorean, maybe. Now we're going too far. The next section 4, lines 54 through 66, Polyphemus offers diffident promises and hopes.
So this is where I think he starts to kind of lose it a little bit.
He's losing the thread, you mean, of his wooing?
He's flailing at this
point.
Okay. Yep.
Does he have a wingman?
No, that's what he needs. He needs a wingman.
Polyphemus needs a wingman.
Right. But he mentions one of my favorite lines is where he talks about, well, maybe, you live in the sea. Maybe I could learn to swim.
Right.
If only some stranger would show up and teach me. It's like maybe Odysseus could have done that before he blinded him. Right.
Yeah. So now you're kind of leaning more to the Brooks Otis. He's a butt.
I think that I don't. When Schmiel earlier in the article he says that these two interpretations are diametrically opposed. I disagree. I think it
could be a both and.
It can be two things.
Yeah. I just keep returning to Brooks Otis's interpretation because I want to say butt.
I gotcha.
All right. So what's the final section?
Section 5, lines 67 to 79. Polyphemus resorts to tear-jerking, loses hope, and gives up on Galatea.
Yeah, that part never happens though in one of these. That part never happens in one of these episodes, right? You were talking about the, I don't know, the angst-filled young man, the late adolescent, or high school, early college,
right?
Who's in love with a girl that he can't attain. He goes through all these stages. But does stage 5 ever arrive, and what is it like?
What, in terms of like he gives up?
The tear jerking, the losing hope.
Yeah.
And then the giving up.
Yeah.
The wandering around. There's a kind of a montage with, is it Journey that's playing or something like that?
It's got to be one of those. Yeah. Exactly. So I think that happens all the time.
Okay.
And, I think that's much more realistic.
Okay.
Right. This is not a Hollywood film where, against all odds, the ugly nerd gets the girl.
Okay.
Right? Real life, that doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen.
No.
All right. Well, we can sum it up here in 5 distinct bits, and I think that here Schmiel is quite helpful. Can you take us through that?
Yes, I can. So Schmiel says that Polyphemus proceeds from 1, desperate love.
Okay.
2, to optimism. 3, which leads to his appeal. 4, his confidence wanes, as shown by his lament over his lack of gills, another one of my favorite parts here. And 5, in despair, he decides to turn his attention elsewhere.
Okay.
Right.
That's a kind of a natural progression.
Yeah, exactly. You give up, and then you say, well, there's, in this case, literally other fish in the sea.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So he's not much to look at, but if looks could gill, right?
I think you just dropped a possible episode title there.
Says Schmiel, the most obvious theme is, quote, the Beauty and the Beast theme.
Yeah.
Is that how you read this?
It didn't jump out when I was reading the poem, because I read the poem first.
Okay.
But when he says that, okay, I get it.
Okay.
I get it exactly. But without the Disney happy ending.
Yes. Yeah. Galatea's loveliness, says Schmiel, is cataloged at the outset. Polyphemus's ugliness shortly thereafter. I'm glad that Theocritus delayed the hideous nature of Polyphemus. Give us the beauty first.
Beauty first, exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's the honey on the edge of the cup.
There you go.
Yeah.
Theocritus introduces a variation upon this theme, says Schmiel. Since Galatea is marine and Polyphemus mundane, couldn't he have just said Galatea lives in the water and Polyphemus lives on land?
Well, then you don't get that wonderful alliteration.
All right.
The marine and mundane.
Theirs would be a hopelessly mixed marriage.
Yeah, it would never work.
It would never work.
Right. And I think it's underlined by the fact that Galatea herself never shows up in this poem.
Yeah.
She is absent the whole time. Right?
Yep. Okay, so I think that's enough of a setup
Agreed.
from Schmiel's article, The Purblind Poet.
Yes.
And I want to return to it later on after we've gone through the poem, some selections thereof, to see whether we agree with the analysis that Schmiel presents.
Yeah.
But speaking of mixed marriages,
yes,
it's time for the ads.
Go. This episode of Ad Nauseam is brought to you by the wonderful folks and the wonderful entrepreneur, Mr.
That's
Mark
correct.
Helwig, at Ratio Coffee.
All right.
These guys also, like our other sponsors, have been with us for quite some time.
Yes, all the way back to 2020.
Man, so a long time, 5 years now. And Mark, he produces these wonderful machines. I've had all of them at this point. The 8, the
Is
6.
this like a brag now? Or
It
a
is
flex?
Yeah, I've had them. I've got them all. I collected them all.
A coffee
So-
flex? Are they in your cave, in your pad?
In my pad next to the cheese whiz. Yes, I've got on the counter at home. I've got the Ratio 8 ready to go every morning. In my office, I've got the Ratio 4.
That's right.
A couple of years ago, I had the Ratio 6. These are all these wonderful machines.
You're all over with these.
All over. And you, Dave,
Yes.
you've got.
I've got the 8, the lovely oyster shell color with the walnut accents. I'm currently enjoying the 4 primarily. Brews a brilliant, delicious cup of coffee. And the mechanism, you all know this by now, it's got a Fibonacci head.
Yes, it does.
Some mathematical sequence that allows a shower head, the hot water to come down through the metallic veins to off gas.
Yes.
You're in favor of off gassing?
The bloom stage. Yep.
That's correct.
I am,
and then we have brew. And then it's ready.
It's ready.
No muss, no fuss.
All there is to it. So, hey, if you want to get yourself out of the long, stupid drive-through lines and want to stop wasting your money at the Bagel Barn and Beanery.
That's correct. Someone suggested, sorry to interrupt, this morning that I try another local coffee place.
Yeah. And you said?
Scooters or...
Oh, I haven't heard of scooters.
Spouters or sputers. I'm not sure. And I thought, nah. I could just go home and make better coffee, cheaper and more beautifully.
Exactly. So, listeners, if you want one of these machines on your desk, in your office, at home, or wherever you get your coffee, make your coffee, go to ratiocoffee.com. That's RATIO coffee.com/ad nauseam. Don't forget the V there. And select the machine that you want. And if you type in this coupon code, AN ratio 2025. Dave, that will get them
$20 off any ratio machine at checkout. Now, if you frequent places like Crate and Barrel, you can also find the ratio 8 in the linen finish. But why not get it less expensively and at the same time support this podcast?
Indeed.
This episode is also brought to you by our good friend Della Chelpka of Della Chelpka Art. Jeff, are you ready for art that truly speaks to your story?
I'm always ready.
Okay, meet Della, a Tucson-based oil painter who captures the people, places, and moments you cherish with breathtaking detail. She then releases them, but first she captures them. She's showcased her work in multiple galleries, illustrated books, and is often commissioned for standout projects. See her current works for sale at her website, dellachelpka.art, dellachelpka.art. To find your inspiration, visit that website, and then, Jeff, there's a coupon code?
Yes, the coupon code is Apelles, Apelles, and that is the name of the most famous painter from antiquity.
Wow.
Yep. And if they do that, if you type in that coupon code Apelles, you will get the Ad Nauseam discount of 10% off your entire order.
Check it out.
This episode of Ad Nauseam is also brought to you by Hackett Publishing. Now, these guys have been with us from the very beginning. They took a chance on this little podcast, and I think they saw kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Like us, these are people who are keeping the flame of classics alive.
Now, this is when we were still off Broadway, right?
Yeah, way off Broadway. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Right. We're inching closer. We're still off Broadway.
So far off Broadway, I don't know my New York geography very well. We were in the Jersey River or something?
I think we were in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Right.
But they said, hey, we support the classics.
Indeed.
We would like listeners out there to build their own library of wonderful books inexpensively with brilliant covers. We're on board.
Yes. So if you go to listener to hackettpublishing.com, their website, scroll through their catalog, and you'll find all kinds of incredible works of literature and works of art too. And Dave, you were just telling me that Stan Lombardo has a new translation of Apollonius of Rhodes.
That's right, the Argonautica, the 4-book Epilia, the little epic. Stan translated it, and I hear it's wonderful. We're going to cover it at some point.
Yeah, and then the Aristotle volume too.
Correct. Right? The 2 volumes, Smith-sewn, handsome slipcover case, and with a tote bag. You got to check this out at hackettpublishing.com. We're going to give away a free copy very soon.
Yes, so go to this website, find the books that you want, drop them into the little grocery satchel, and if you use this coupon code AN2025...
Now, where did they come up with that?
That AN stands for Ad Nauseam. The 2025 is the current year.
It all makes sense.
And if you do that, you will get 20% off your entire order. And Dave, one other wonderful thing?
Double the price of shipping.
No, actually, quite the opposite.
Sorry, free shipping.
Free shipping.
What is the opposite of double the price?
I don't know.
Like a quarter the price?
I've never been good at math.
You're not a mather?
No.
Okay. 20% off the entire order and
free shipping.
Check it out.
All right, Dave, as we get back into it, I think we need to hear some Greek.
All right.
Would you read from the top of the poem?
I would love to. So this is the Cyclops, Theocritus, Idyll XI, and I'm reading from the Loeb edition as translated by Edmonds, and the year is 1912. So here it goes. Uden patan erote pefuke pharmacanalla, Nikia ut en Christanemendoke ut epipaston, etai pierdredes kufandeti tutokai hadu, Gineta panthroi pois herrendu tradionesti.
Very nicely done.
That's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It is a lot of fun.
I enjoy that so much.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had some good hexameter on the show.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. And let me offer a translation of this.
Okay, now this is not the Edmonds translation.
No.
Okay.
I didn't. The Edmonds translation was a little bit too 1912.
Was it for you?
It was a little archaic.
All right. Well, where does this come
So
from?
I found this. It was a published translation from the journal Arian from back in 1997 from one Diane Arnson Svarlin.
Why does that name sound so familiar?
We've done something about this before,
yes,
right?
we featured some of her work when we had 2 episodes on Euripides Alcestis.
That's right.
She read some Greek for us, then we interviewed her for her new edition of Aristophanes.
That's right.
It was brilliant.
It was brilliant.
What does she say here?
And this is a great translation. So from the top, there's no drug, Nicias, to cure desire. No hot compress, powder, ointment, or suspension, except for a song. A sweet alleviation, but not so easy sometimes. You should know. you're a doctor. And what's more, the 9 muses love you better than they love most.
That's nice.
Yeah, so Theocritus it's framed like he's talking to his friend Nicias, who's a doctor.
Right, Nick.
Yes, and I think Otis or Schmiel kind of suggest that he's kind of ribbing him.
Okay.
It's like yeah, you doctors think you have all the solutions.
Correct.
But there's no drug to help you with love, right?
What is that Huey Lewis and the News song?
Oh, I want a new drug.
I want a new drug.
Yes.
Is that about love?
It is about love.
Tell me more,
right,
Winkle.
So about Huey Lewis?
No, about the song and how it might relate to the 11th. I don't know why you're laughing at
right.
me. Why the 11th Theocritian Idyll might relate to Mr. and the News.
Right. So, I mean, in that song, I mean, Huey is talking about how he wants a new drug one that will make him feel like the way he feels with this girl, right? Okay. So, I mean, I think in some sense he's saying there's no drug that is strong enough or that could reproduce the longing and the feeling that I have when I'm with this particular girl. And so I think that definitely that segues or merges with what Theocritus is saying here. Yeah.
So the very first line, Uden is the first word, Uden, and then the last 2 feet, pharmakanalla. There ain't no other drug, right?
Yes.
Says Theocritus. In fact, the most powerful substance is not something like, I don't know, penicillin, but it's love.
It's love.
Okay.
Right. And then that's where he launches into the story of Polyphemus and Galatea.
Okay.
Which dominates the rest of the poem.
So Theocritus writes this to his friend Nick, right?
Yep.
Nicias, kind of elbowing the doctor a little bit.
Yes.
But I mean, if you were to write a poem, to whom would you address it? One of your brother's a doctor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right. Try to convince him. Yeah, I think that my brother would be the one that I would. How about you? I mean, who would you write this poem to?
I don't know. If I were writing a poem like this, whom would I choose?
Will?
My friend Buster, actually.
Buster, really?
Yes.
You have a friend named Buster.
We've talked about this.
I know. I just enjoy the name.
Okay. That's not his real name.
No, I don't imagine.
But he lives down in North Carolina, and at one time he was an ardent fan of this show. He probably has fallen off, as people are wont to do.
Okay.
And our friendship has probably fallen off, therefore, as well.
So,
you listen, or that's it.
It's over.
That's quits.
Exactly. So you might need to write him a letter.
I might need to write Buster a letter about this and talk about Cyclops and Galatea.
Yeah.
So as the portion goes on, he says, not only are you a doctor, but Nicias, you know the muses, and they love you better than most, right? Which is, you're a pretty good poet.
You're a pretty good poet, right?
Right.
So you should be able to understand what I'm talking about here. Yep.
So let me read from the Edmonds, if I can, to go a little bit 1912 on you.
Okay.
And he says, "'Twas this at least gave best comfort to my countryman, the Cyclops, old Polyphemus, when he was first showing beard upon cheek and chin, and Galatea was his love. His love was no matter of apples, neither, nor of rosebuds, nor locks of hair, but a flat frenzy, which recked naught of all else." I guess that's a little archaic.
It is a little archaic, yes.
But what does it mean here as Diana explains it?
Well, so Diane says, just that last bit, his desire eclipsed convention. There was no sending apples or roses or exchanging locks of hair, none of the usual things. He was truly insane. Could think of nothing else. So there's not the usual...
these are the tokens, right?
Right.
To woo, right?
Yes.
As when you were courting the lovely Mrs. Winkle,
yes.
Beck, you sent her bushels of apples and locks of your hair. The occasional rosebud.
Yes.
Kind of stuffed into an envelope.
Really, exactly. And I remember getting a letter back from her just saying, really, another lock? What am I supposed to do with these? I mean, but yes, the usual wooing gifts.
Mixtape.
So I guess today it would be
Do you remember the days of the mixtape?
Oh, I made the objects of my affection a few mixtapes.
Of course, you take a standard cassette. The 60-minute is better than the 90 because you got to select very carefully, right?
It's very Alexandrian, right?
Correct. You start out with something that's a little bit exciting, a little bit up tempo, and then you end with a ballad from Air Supply or something like that.
Air Supply was a good go-to.
That'll clinch it,
right? Or do you remember Survivor's "The Search Is Over"?
Of course,
right. That would be a great one to end with. Yeah.
Maybe Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah, in the middle somewhere. Yes,
correct. But then when your love sends you back her own mixtape, then you're good.
You're good. Exactly. That's when you know you're in.
Yeah. Right. Even Celine Dion.
Really?
For that genre.
Yeah, that's very true. Right?
Isn't that right? Come on, you're not going to go all anti-pop. I'm the I'm the king of the obscure kind of folksy music, and I'm not going to go for the mainstream.
That's where my gut really wants to take me, but for your benefit in the audience, I'm going to leave it alone.
All right.
So, but what Theocritus is saying is none of that. Polyphemus is not sending mixtapes.
No,
it's not working because he's insane.
Oh,
he's mad, right?
Okay.
And so he's reached another level of sickness.
So what happens next then in the story as it develops?
All right, let me continue with Diane's translation. He often sat alone, this is Polyphemus, awake at dawn among the piles of seaweed by the shore. Melting with desire, he sang to her, leaving his sheep to find their own way home. Wounded deep the barb beneath his heart of Aphrodite's arrow, he found this medicine. From the high cliffs staring out to sea, he sang this song, and then the actual song begins.
Yes. So do you imagine Polyphemus with a Fender or something? Is he kind of like a Bryan Adams?
I think I see it's an acoustic guitar. I think he's got himself a Martin or a Taylor.
Birkenstocks?
Definitely Birkenstocks. There's a hacky sack somewhere behind him.
But what about the eye?
The eye, what about it?
Well, it doesn't actually mean one eye, as most people think. Cyclops means circle eye.
Circle eye.
Eye as big as a shield.
Right.
I find that's off-putting for most women, right?
Just, having one eye? Yeah, right.
But it gets worse.
It does. Well,
because he's got a unibrow.
He's got a unibrow. I mean, he's very honest about all of his the detrimental features on his face.
That's true,
right?
And I thought that women liked
monobrows.
No, a man who wasn't so vain that he's kind of obsessed with his appearance.
I think so. I mean, I think maybe Polyphemus is trying to sell himself as, hey, look at me,
right.
Warts and all. What you see is what you get.
Right.
And there's a kind of confidence in that honesty. Yeah.
Who is that man who was briefly married to the starlet Julia Roberts?
Lyle Lovett.
Correct.
Yes.
We remember when that was big news in the 1980s?
Yeah, I do remember.
Okay.
Because he was
not considered, the most handsome man in Hollywood.
He is conventionally unattractive.
Yeah, you were not in Hollywood at the time, so
you
couldn't compete for that.
No.
That title, but
right.
But it was thought to be a Beauty and the Beast kind of pairing.
Definitely.
Right?
I think that your comparison is apt because Lyle,
I have a second one too.
Lyle is a great musician.
Is he?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I've seen him live a few times. You're
kidding. You've seen Lyle live?
He's fantastic.
How is Lyle Lovett live?
Lyle Lovett live is loquacious. No, he's really quite fantastic.
Okay.
And so like Polyphemus, he's saying, hey, I'm not much to look at, but look at all these other skills I have.
Isn't this like Phantom of the Opera also?
Phantom of the opera. Oh, that's not just opera. Sorry.
What? Phantom of the Opera? And you get a musical. And you get a musical. And you get a musical.
Yes, Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom,
yes.
Part of his face is covered with some kind of plastication.
Yes.
But he's playing the organ or something
exactly.
like that?
Yeah. Exactly.
I only know the story through the Simpsons episodes.
Yes, actually, same here as well. But yeah, kind of Quasimodo. I mean, that's a story that kind of gets repackaged and retold time and time again. Right?
Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
The Beauty and the Beast kind of pairing.
Definitely right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens next in our story of Polyphemus and Galatea? What is the content of his song?
Right. Let me continue on. And one of my favorite lines from Diane's translation says, "White Galatea, whiter than cottage cheese." Boy, sell it there.
So this is his pickup line?
This is his pickup. This is his opener. Yeah, right.
I heard another one recently. Are you trash? Because I'd like to take you out.
Oh man, that's brutal.
That's bad.
That's really bad. All right, so he says, "White Galatea, whiter than cottage cheese. Why cast away the one who loves you?"
Now, there's a good question.
Yep, exactly. Softer than lamb's wool, springier than the knees of a newborn calf, bright as an unripe grape. Why come near when sweet sleep holds me still, then disappear when the sweet sleep lets me go?
So what he's saying is, you come to shore, and I'm dozing, right? You have all these lovely qualities, but I've missed them.
Right. So, I mean, the problem is she works apparently third shift.
Okay.
And he's first shift. So they miss each other. But on a more serious note, I think what I'm realizing as I'm reading this is that I think one of the things that makes this poem potentially sad is, Galatea never shows up. There's no guarantee that she's listening.
No.
So she could be at another island for all we know.
That's
right?
correct.
So he's singing into the void.
That's right. I loved you instantly. This is again Diane's translation. I loved you instantly the day you came with my mother to gather hyacinths on the mountain. So apparently he does have a wingman of sorts.
Mom?
His own mother.
That's a problem.
A wing mom. Why is that a problem?
Well, I mean, I think that if you're relying on mom to set you up, it's already another kind of mark against you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I led you along the path, he says. It's been the same ever since. I saw you, I can't stop, but you don't care. I don't mean a thing to you.
See, already he's kind of undercutting himself again and again and again. He's already kind of, it's the self-pity,
right?
Which
women find very appealing.
It's
right?
his kryptonite.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yes, delightful girl. I know why you run away. My looks are frightening. So here's where he gets down to brass tacks.
To describe himself.
Yep. He says, I know it's true. One long, shaggy eyebrow runs from ear to ear.
Now that's a monobrow. It's not just covering the one eye, but it's
from the ears.
Yeah. It's like a hemispherical brow.
Yeah, exactly. So one long, shaggy eyebrow runs from ear to ear with one huge eye below. My nose is flat and wide. Yet as I am, and now he's trying to say, well, despite that,
right?
Yeah, I keep 1,000 head of cattle, and from them I fill a vat of the best milk to drink.
Who doesn't like a good milk vat?
Exactly right. All year round, I never run out of cheese. That's huge.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Did I not say cheese whiz earlier in this episode?
Yes, you did.
That's exactly what he has in his man cave.
He says, I never run out of cheese, not even in the coldest winter. My baskets are always full. I play the pipe. As no other Cyclops can. So there's your Lyle Lovett there.
Okay, but are the Cyclopes, are they good pipers?
That I don't know. But even if they aren't, Polyphemus is your go-to piper.
So when he plays and sings, someone says Cyclops really has good pipes.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I play the pipe as no other Cyclops can and sing sweet apple of you and myself, often late at night.
Okay, so sweet apple is one of his terms of endearment?
Yeah, that's not bad, is it?
I think it's pretty good. It's along the lines of, sweetheart, honey bunch, that sort of thing.
Yeah, sweet apple. Yeah.
Sweet apple.
That's good.
It's better than something like calling her a sour plum or hardened pumpkin, something like that.
Yeah, right. But the way he sweetens the deal at the end of the stanza is a little strange. It says, for you, I raise 11 gentle fawns. That's a very kind of oddly specific number of fawns.
You don't like the specificity of the number?
It's just weird.
Maybe it was metricausa.
That could be.
Right?
So
Theocritus used it in order to fit the line.
Perhaps. Or maybe like the last Cyclops gave her 10.
Right.
He's
gonna up the fawn ante.
Yeah, this one goes to 11, to quote Spinal Tap, and then not only that, but also 4 bear cubs.
Okay.
So are nymphs interested in these kinds of things? Possibly.
I don't know, but I do think that numbers are always good in a song.
Really?
Yes.
Like
numbers and colors.
Colors.
Numbers and colors make a song.
Can you give me an example? Like, what are you thinking?
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the song's about. Putting the color in the title is highly evocative.
Yeah, I agree with that. So aren't
there song titles with street numbers in them?
I like songs with like specific street names.
Yeah, but there's numbers, aren't there typically?
Well, they often don't get that specific. Like I'm visiting my beloved at 783 Evergreen Terrace,
Southeast.
Southeast. Although I like that, and maybe like a postal code with the dash. And
nine-digit romance.
Right. So I think you're probably right that it's metrical, but just the idea of I'm going to give you 11 fawns just seems kind of
Well, I mean, also Theocritus, it is the genre, right? It is the era of specificity.
That's true.
For its own sake, almost.
That's true. Yep.
So he's still wooing. He's still pitching woo. And how's it going?
Well, let's see. Carrying on, come to me, and you will spend your days no worse than before. That's very tepid.
There is an offer. Who can refuse?
Exactly. Well, at least it won't be
any worse than it used to be.
Right. Leave the sea, the gray-green sea, to pound against the sand, and come spend the pleasant nights curled up beside me in my cave, where there is laurel and slender cypress, sweet ripe grapes, and ivy dark black-green, and from the cold bright snow of Etna's forest, fresh cold water, a drink good enough for any goddess. Who would trade these things for seaweed and salt surf?
See, what I'm saying about colors, right? Mm-hmm. Ivy, dark, black, green, cold, bright snow.
Yeah.
That's an appealing offer.
It is.
Right? He's offering her a place to stay, something to eat, a nice surroundings. He's redecorated, right? They put in a half bath. He's offering her something pretty good.
It's true. Now, when Schmiel goes in his article, he talks about that one of Polyphemus' problems is he doesn't have a lot of leverage. We learned that he first saw Galatea out picking hyacinths, which suggests that she's amphibious, right? So she can be on land.
Correct.
The Cyclops, however, he can't swim, and the sea's no good for him. So he has to persuade her to leave her home and come on land and into his cave.
I thought he overanalyzed that a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's amphibious. That didn't strike me. She's a nymph. That's sufficient.
Yeah. But you didn't like the term amphibious?
I didn't.
Okay.
It's so unpoetical.
It is. It makes me think of like a bullfrog.
Correct. So this is page 34 of Schmiel. At 65 and following, Polyphemus retreats to his former position. Perhaps Galatea can learn to live on land. The previous direct entreaty is now only a hope. At line 76, the dominant theme is again Beauty and the Beast. There are other fish in the sea. Rather, there are pretty girls on land. And on land, Polyphemus has the status of which he tried, without success, to convince Galatea. So at least says Polyphemus. So he says, in my world, I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I got 1,000 head of cattle. Have you seen my man cave?
Man.
Cheese, endless cheese.
Endless cheese.
All year long.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Well, let's continue on. Polyphemus. But if I am too shaggy, look, I have oak logs. And unquenched by covering ash, the spark of never-wearying fire within my cave. I could endure being singed to the quick by you.
Ooh, double entendre.
Yes.
So he starts out with saying, my thermostat is always on 78.
That's right.
I don't try to, save from DTE or consumer's energy.
Yeah.
I'm willing to spend the big bucks to keep this place warm.
Indeed.
But what else does he say?
He says, my only eye, the sweetest thing to me, I'd let you burn it.
Wow.
Baby.
Is this where he cues who am I thinking of?
What, like Barry White?
Yeah, there you go.
But here too, a little.
So we're completely with Brooks Otis at this point.
I guess so.
Because we're just milking this, so to speak, for supposed humor.
Now that I'm reading it out loud and talking with you, it is completely ridiculous.
The spark of never wearying fire within my cave, I could endure being singed to the quick by you. My only eye, the sweetest thing to me. Now, here's some real pathos. Mm-hmm. I'd let you burn it. But who does burn it?
It's Odysseus.
This is foreshadowing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Mother, why was I born without gills? I would dive into the sea, Galatea, and kiss your hand, since you would never let me kiss your mouth, and bring small white crocuses to you, or tender red poppies with broad petals blossoming in summertime. I could not bring you both, since crocus blooms when snow is on the pasture.
Hold on a minute.
Yes.
Now he's going to go botanical?
He's super botanical. He's losing
the thread.
He's losing the thread a little bit, right?
Okay. Yeah. He complains to his mom?
Yeah, he says, why didn't you birth me with gills,
Why didn't you
Mom?
give me some gills?
That's right.
Right. What was it? If looks could gill?
If looks could gill?
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, my goodness.
I would dive into the sea and kiss your hand. You'd never let me kiss your mouth.
Yep.
Crocuses, but I couldn't bring them at the same time.
Nope.
Galatea, sweet girl, I'll learn to swim right now. If only a stranger will come here in a ship and show me how, I'll know then why you love to live in the brine.
Right. So another kind of nod. The stranger there is, again, a kind of nod towards the Odysseus and his men who will show up sometime later.
Yeah, and supposedly teach him how to swim because at the end of Book 9, where do we see? He doesn't see us, but where do we see Polyphemus?
He's up on the cliff chucking rocks.
That's correct. And he wades into the sea, remember?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Up to his waist.
Yeah.
And then he's chucking rocks against Odysseus and his men on the retreating ship.
Mm-hmm. So it's a good thing that his men didn't teach him how to swim.
That's correct.
Yeah.
If only Galatea had succumbed to his wooing charms, Odysseus would have been a lot better off.
It's very true.
And his men would not have been eaten.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue here?
Sure. Come out, Galatea, come out, and you'll forget, as I do now, to go back home again. Come be my shepherdess and help me milk the sheep and cows. Come help me set the cheese.
Now, there's an offer that's hard to refuse.
My goodness.
A romantic night of cheese setting.
Right. And then I think once again, he kind of goes dark. He's very kind of manic depressive here.
Okay.
I blame my mother. She never says a word to you on my behalf.
See? Wingman.
She's a terrible wing.
She's a
woman.
wing mom.
Yeah, terrible wing mom. She lets you tease me constantly, and then she lets me waste away. I tell her that my head hurts, so she'll worry. So again, he's manipulative.
Yes.
Right? Passive aggressive.
Yeah, you're really down on poor Polyphemus.
Yeah.
Have you no pity for this unibrow creature?
I did at first, and then he kind of throws it all away.
He's getting on your nerves.
Right. I tell her both my feet are swollen up. I want her to feel sorry, since I'm sorry.
Maybe if he were to wear contact. Maybe that would help.
I guess so. But now he's just a pouting little whiny brat.
Okay.
And it's hard for me to feel sorry for him.
But then he speaks.
Yes.
Right? He speaks to himself. And we're going to wrap up the poem pretty soon here and go back to Schmiel as we wrap up the episode. Cyclops, Cyclops, have you lost your mind? Go weave your baskets. Go and milk the ewe that's here. Don't chase the one that runs away. So there's a little bit of a double entendre as well, in the sense that, love the one that you're with. How does it go? Dance with the one that brought you, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Don't try to aim too high. There's another song here.
Yeah, if you can't.
Patrick Swayze.
Which one? What?
She's out of my league.
Oh, that's right. She's like the wind.
She's like. Is that the title of the song?
Yeah.
Can we put some numbers in there? And some colors.
I was thinking of the if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with.
Yes, that must be a Conway Twitty song, Will, I think.
Do not bait the man.
I'm baiting him. Anyway,
yeah.
That's here. Don't chase the one that runs away. Figure out the sensible thing to do and do it.
Yep.
That's always the best way. So do you think there's a little bit of stoic moderation here? I would suggest so.
Yes, I think
there's a little bit of philosophy creeping in,
mixed with self-pity at the same time. And so he's trying to kind of convince himself that it's painful, but it's the better choice just to kind of go in a different direction. Yeah.
You'll find another Galatea, maybe, he says, a prettier one. He doesn't believe that.
No, not at all.
Because if he thought there were a prettier one, he had been courting her instead of Galatea.
And then this last bit is this is so desperate.
Yeah.
Right. Many girls seek me out, calling in the night, come play with me, giggling when I answer. Here on dry land, it's clear that I'm someone of importance. I'm a big deal.
He blames the whole thing on their mixed backgrounds. It's like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
They would have gotten together,
right?
But they just come from such different worlds.
Yes.
This is not the problem. The problem is he's hideous, and Galatea, I guess, doesn't even know that he's singing to her.
Yeah.
But she's also just really not interested at all.
Not interested at all. And then this business of like, I don't need you because I have so many people after me on the island anyway.
So which stage is this in the young man's descent? It was really better that she didn't respond to all my text, that she ghosted me. She left me unread.
Yeah. Because
I have greater things to pursue.
Exactly. Right.
Whom is he persuading?
I think like in the stages of grief, he's full blown anger.
Okay.
Right here. So yeah.
Then
so that's how he ends. Yeah.
Can you read the 3-line little epigraph?
Yes.
That's given to us by Theocritus as translated by Diane Arson Sfarlin.
Yes. And so the Cyclops shepherded the ills of his desire with song, the muses salve, more surely than he could with doctor's bills.
So there's the point.
I guess so, but
that Theocritus is giving to Nicias.
Yeah.
Right? What has your medicine ever done to heal someone of the real problem in human life, which is love?
Yeah.
Unrequited love, that really hurts. Sure, you break a leg, you've got a sniffle or something. We can do something about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But unrequited love, there's no cure except poetry.
But I wonder if part of the joke is that as the Cyclops ends his little spiel, he's not healed, right? I mean, we might see that he's maybe come around, that he's resigned to reality to some degree. But
he's not as bad as he could be.
But when he's talking about, hey, I've got all these other girls after me, so you should be jealous, that's not indicative that he's dealt with his problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look at Schmiel as we wrap this up and see what he has to say.
Okay.
So this is page 36, the very end of the article. There is sufficient evidence that the Hellenistic poets knew how to go for the jugular. This is hardly comparable. The poem is best read as a sly barb directed at Nicias, the doctor poet. Theocritus introduced Polyphemus as proof that poetry is the best cure for love. Nicias, he said, would know this as both doctor and poet. But then Theocritus proceeded to undercut the compliment by showing that Polyphemus's attempt to cure himself with song was a complete failure. So that's kind of your interpretation.
Yeah. I like that, yeah.
Nicias then turns the point against Theocritus by implying that Theocritus learned to write poetry the way Polyphemus did, and presumably with similar results. I don't know about that last part.
Yeah, that a bit of a stretch. But I mean, it falls into that trope you were talking about of kind of poets tossing it back and forth. And,
right,
and
the amoebic.
Yes, the rat battling here.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about what you see or don't see in terms of the relative strengths of the Holtsmarkian and the Otis interpretation?
Well, it's interesting. In our conversation and reading the poem, I've kind of come around. I started out on kind of squarely on Holtsmark's side.
Okay.
I mean, I still would say that you definitely could read this in a much more melancholy, heartfelt way. But I think on the whole, I agree with Otis here that this is best read as largely
a farce.
A farce.
A spoof?
Yes. Yeah. How about you?
A butt?
A butt.
That Polyphemus is a butt?
Yes.
Well, I'm sympathetic to the Brooks Otis position, too, that Polyphemus is the butt of many jokes here. However, I don't think any of the jokes would succeed as well as they do if Holtsmark's basic observation weren't also true, namely that poetry is supposed to cure you of the ills of love.
Yeah.
The blues are supposed to help you get through hard times.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't completely, because you're kind of you're uncurable, which is what Polyphemus seems to be.
Yes,
is what brings humor to the situation.
Indeed, yeah.
But the basic underlying truth has to be there in order for there to be a kind of a variation on it.
Very well said. I totally agree. Yep.
Well, Jeff, I think we have to get out of here because the Cheese Whiz folks are coming in.
Oh, really? They got wind already, and they're angry. Let me guess.
Yeah, they want to be a sponsor, maybe. I don't know.
Oh man, yeah.
Who creates Cheez Whiz?
I don't know. The
National Biscuit Company, I believe.
I think that's right.
Nabisco. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we better beat it out of here. But before we do,
we have people to thank. Yes. As always, Mishka.
Product to sell,
and so thanks to our wonderful engineer. We also. Know that our listeners out there, many of them, I'm sure they want to learn some Latin and Greek, and Dave, you can help them.
I can. You might want to be able to read dactylic hexameters like I just did and like Jeff does. If so, please go to my website, latinperdiem.com, and check out my Greek and Latin courses. The Moss method will take you from
neophyte to erudite.
Yes, just yesterday, signed up 2 new students from such far-flung places as New Zealand and the other guy whom I think is in Texas.
Wow, man.
And so they're getting into reading some Greek. I picked up another student who wants to learn some Latin with me. As I like to say, all things considered, these may not be the best courses, although I think they're quite good. I've put a lot of time into them. I am convinced that they are the best value. That is the combination of expertise and an affordable price. So
Fantastic.
Please check that out.
Excellent. And how about this Jeff Sheets?
Yes.
That wonderful guitarist whose music you hear throughout the episode.
That's right.
Yep.
Kansas City Shredder gives us the intro and outro, Thrill Seeker, and the bumper music, Rush Hour. If you like this kind of music, as we do, go to his website, Jeff Sheets, SCHEETZ. Check out some of the things he has to offer. Jeff, could this go on a romantic kind of wooing mixtape?
I think that would be a tough first move.
Really?
That's like describing your beloved as cottage cheese, I think. So, I mean, Sheets is great.
Whiter than cottage cheese.
Whiter than cottage cheese. But I think you'd have to wait at least maybe 3 months in, you could drop the sheets on them.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we thank Mishka. We thank Jeff. What about if they want to get in touch with you, Jeff, and leave a corrigendum?
Well, they can write to me, jeff@adnauseam.com, and they can also write to you,
Dave@adnauseam.com. In both instances, please don't forget the V in ad nauseum.
Yes.
You can subscribe, leave a review on your favorite podcast. You can pick up a Quai No Kent Do Kent t-shirt at our website, adnauseam.com. Jeff, the moment has almost arrived. Next week, what are we doing?
It is our 200th episode, so we are celebrating by asking listeners to send in clips. And we want to respond to you. We want to riff. We want to hear from you. And so, again, record a short clip, 30 seconds, couple of minutes. It can be anything that you want, things you like about the podcast, things you don't like, just about yourself, your story with the classics.
Yeah, your interest, how you contribute, how you're keeping the flame lit out there. Mm-hmm. We'd love to hear that.
Yes. So keep those coming in, and we can hopefully feature them in the 200th episode.
Yes, Dave@adnauseam.com. So that's coming up next. Jeff, yep. I believe you have our GPS today, our gustatory parting shot.
I do. This comes from one Mark Mills and his work, The Savage Garden. He writes, "It's not good, reading and eating at the same time. The stomach needs blood for digestion. When you read, the brain steals the blood."
Yeah. It's true.
I think that is true.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks.